This week on Checkpoint, what's going on at Potchefstroom Hospital?
Over the last 2 months, my daughter's file has gone missing 3 times in 3 weeks.
They searched for my file, they searched for my file. My file was nowhere to be found.
And why are patients' records in such disarray?
Information about you
can't treat people if you don't have the records of their previous visits to a hospital.
We are aware of that, as I indicated to you, that we have planned to procure new cabinets for the records department.
This is Checkpoint, and I'm Nkebile Mabuse. From outside, Potchefstroom Hospital looks like the picture of order, but residents of the town say they dread going there. Patients say they wait for hours on end for service that is less than satisfactory. Health E! News went to check it out.
It's 7 a.m. on a Monday morning in the booked area of Potchefstroom Hospital. This is where patients make appointments to see doctors on duty. The procedure is that patients first collect their files, then join a queue, if their files can be found. By 2 p.m., tensions are high and spirits low. This man is threatening to complain to local radio station Aghanang FM, which gets dozens of calls from unhappy patients. For the Aesop family, it's all too familiar.
It's always a mission to get your file. If you're lucky to get your file, otherwise they issue you a new file or a duplicate file.
And there's people that's sitting there with children without food a whole day.
Everyone gets scheduled for 7 o'clock. Or 7:30, 8 o'clock, basically.
The longest I've waited for the file is about 7 hours.
Over the last 2 months, my daughter's file has gone missing 3 times in 3 weeks. And after a period of waiting 6 to 7 hours, they have given us a duplicate file.
When I get my file is like ripped apart. It's torn.
We wanted to know what was going on in the filing section at Potch Hospital, so we went there with a hidden camera. Piles of files lay stacked on the floor and on tables across the 3 rooms that form the archive section. A clerk who worked there up until recently confirmed that vital patient files aren't well looked after.
Information about information.
With no patient histories, doctors often have to rely on guesswork.
It's really, really irritating because now your whole history is gone. Your whole history was in that file. So if you're coming for a checkup for something that you had previously been there for, the doctor that's going to see you now won't know what to do.
Social justice activist Mark Hayward says files are the cornerstone of good hospital care.
You can't treat people if you don't have the records of their previous visits to a hospital. People should be able to know that when they go into a hospital, it's a matter of minutes to be able to pull an accurate and an up-to-date file. So it's very distressing. It's wasteful if people have to redo tests, which they would have to do if there's no record. And, you know, we're under incredible resource issues in the health system at the moment. But I think it's also stressful You know, you have to remember that healthcare workers are human beings as well. They face people's ire, people's frustration. They have to look at people who are sick, who are being made to wait for long periods of time. So, you know, it's much more than just a question of pieces of paper and bad filing. It has a knock-on effect.
Medical negligence lawyer Cindy Johnson says missing hospital files are a huge problem countrywide.
I would say out of 10 requests that we send through to the hospital for 10 different matters, 8 out of 10 we obtain affidavits whereby they indicate that the records are missing. They cannot, after diligent search, the records cannot be located. There's an obligation on the professionals to retain these medical records for at least 6 years. However, if you're dealing with a minor, the records need to be kept, post 18 years of age.
We showed Naim Esop our footage of what was going on behind the scenes in the records department at Potch Hospital.
This is ridiculous. There's no filing system in place. Files on the floor, files on a table, files in boxes. And then they tell us, no, they lost our file, but it's actually somewhere in the stacks.
Mark wasn't surprised.
You know, we routinely hear stories, get complaints about collapsing systems inside hospitals, inside clinics. In a sense, that's just a visual image of what we know exists out there, but it's still shocking.
Our insider says staff pleas for better resources fall on deaf ears.
When they complain, management do it. They will look into the matter.
The files that are here, as we see them, there are files that are going to be taken to outpatient department.
We made an appointment to see hospital CEO Gloria Klappi. She showed us around the filing department. Later, we showed her our footage of the archive section.
Our control system is just like a production department. Any department, even in food department, they do have production department where before any of their products are packed nicely. In the production department is where, a lot of work is being done. Yeah, this is work in progress.
But how do you find anything when you don't have a proper filing system?
We are aware of that, as I indicated to you, that we have planned to procure new cabinets for records department. We are aware that in terms of Occupational Health and Safety Act, the records department is not compliant.
After the break, lucky to be alive.
All wrote the same thing, that my bladder was stitched along with my womb.
My kind was sick. My kind was amper dood gezien, mag pijn gehad.
Potchefstroom Hospital has really ruined my life. Like they have really ruined my life.
A routine C-section turned into a lengthy hospital stay for a Potchefstroom mother when doctors mistakenly stitched her bladder to her womb. Her attempts to sue the hospital have been delayed because vital documents are missing from her file. More from Health E! News.
Lebogang Rasejo considers herself lucky to be alive. Her ordeal began when she went in for a cesarean at Potch Hospital in November 2013.
I gave birth to the healthy baby girl.
But her joy turned to misery on the day she was to be discharged.
I was still in pain when they came in. And my mom asked the nurse on the reception, like, why am I still working like I'm in too much pain? And the nurse said it's because of the stitches.
My kind was sick. My kind was amper dood gezien, mag pijn gehad. Die mag het was net so gestaan, leek of hy nog nie baba gekry.
After her mother intervened, she was taken by ambulance to nearby Klerksdorp Hospital.
I got to Klerksdorp Hospital and there were 2 doctors. They came on to me, they checked on me. They asked me if I knew why I was there, and I told them, yes, I know I came here to have an operation.
Then they dropped a bombshell.
That's when I heard from those doctors that I had bladder injury. And then while they were busy, they were getting me busy. Yeah, I'm ready. The other doctor came, and she came and she told me that my womb was rotten, so it also had to be removed.
That she had to have a hysterectomy was devastating for this 24-year-old.
I had no choice. I had to sign those papers.
They performed 3 operations on Lebo that night. She spent 6 weeks in hospital, 2 of those in ICU and high care.
They all wrote the same thing, that my bladder was stitched along with my womb. And while I was in ICU unit, I went back and forth from theater. They had to reopen my womb. So I think I went there for a look 2 times. I went back to theater 2 times. My wound was left open until I was discharged because they said I had some bacteria. I was starting to be depressed because of the bacteria. I couldn't see my baby anymore. I only saw her once, and there was some point whereby I even forgot her face.
Once she'd moved to a general ward, doctors told her the news.
He said to me, I don't want to badmouth my colleagues, but it's like they were in a hurry or something. This was doctor's negligence.
But back at Potch Hospital, doctors wouldn't take responsibility, she says.
They said that, well, you did sign that letter, and doctors are not gods. Doctors don't do miracles.
Maar nou wat van my kind sy lewe en my kind het nie eers nie geweet wat gebeur met sy lewe.
Potchefstroom Hospital's clinical head, Dr. Michael Shakung, admits there were complications.
Accidentally or inadvertently, there was a bladder injury on Rasejo that was not actually been noticed, depending on the size of that injury.
But when Lebogang requested her file,
I told him I want my file, and he looks confused, like he doesn't know anything about my file. He searched for it. He called his secretary to search for my file. They searched for my file, they searched for my file. My file was nowhere to be found.
When she finally received it, she says information had been removed and some details altered.
And even the name of the doctor. It's like it's a Nigerian doctor. And I was not operated by a Nigerian doctor. I was operated by a white doctor with the assistant of a black doctor.
It's a legal record, let me just say that. We don't actually alter on those records.
Cases like Lebo's are hard to prove without files, say medical negligence experts.
One would look at whether there was a delay in picking up or diagnosing the particular perforation. But then again, even in those circumstances, it's often difficult to pick up the perforation, at that point in time.
Each of those files is somebody with a health need, and more than a health need. Each of them is somebody with a right to health. And so in a sense, this violates the right to health.
Lebogang was never able to pursue a case. Today she survives on painkillers.
Potchefstroom Hospital has really ruined my life. Like they have really ruined my life.
Next up, paracetamol for acute appendicitis.
If they died, no one would have known about it, and it would have been just because of a stomach bug.
She gave Gabby paracetamols, and we left from there.
The patient was told that she might be having an appendicitis, and the mother and the child were both there.
Not a chance. There was no chance. They said it's a normal stomach bug.
With the filing department at Potchefstroom Hospital seemingly in shambles, patients say it's impossible to pursue medical negligence cases because there is no record or proof of treatment.
Potchefstroom Hospital has won awards for quality patient care and excellence. But nowadays, patients complain about shoddy care and lost files. In February, Naim Esop took his daughter Gabrielle to casualty at Potch Hospital. She was in terrible pain.
When my daughter went for a checkup, the first time they told her, she's got a stomach bug.
I didn't feel happy about it because there is something wrong with me. I know what pain I have, and then they tell me I don't have pain. It's not like they're experiencing the pain I have.
2 nights later, Gabby was back. The pain was worse.
Then they told her it's a period pain.
She gave Gabby paracetamols, and we left from there.
Desperate, they took her to a private doctor.
The private doctor said, no, it's appendix. If she's not better by the Saturday, we must bring her back. That's Dr. Umar. We must bring her back, and then he will give us a letter for casualty so they can admit her.
Gabby needed to have an appendectomy, but her parents say doctors at Potch Casualty wouldn't hear of it.
10th of February, Saturday afternoon, we were there from 12 o'clock the afternoon till past 7 that evening. And she said, no, it's a period pain. I told her, look, it's not a period pain, doc. Check again. Get someone else. So she got her supervisor. Her supervisor came out and she checked and she said, no, it's a period pain. So that's when I really got upset. I said, listen, my daughter was here on Wednesday.
My husband was starting to go off there and, use big words. And he said, no, he wants another doctor to come and see her because the doctors there everybody cannot say it's a period pain.
We got a doctor from the surgical unit out who in turn said, no, this is an appendix and it has to be removed. Now, if I did not, as a parent, take her to a private doctor, today she won't be with us.
Potch Hospital's clinical head, Dr. Michael Shakung, says casualty doctors suspected appendicitis all along.
The patient was told that she might be having an appendicitis, and the mother and the child were both there. And the doctor, attending doctor at casualty, the doctor informed the parents and the daughter that if their condition worsen, if the pain become worse, please come, you need to be reassessed within 48 hours to confirm that there's an appendicitis. And then, like I said, she opted to go to the general practitioner, and this is also on records.
Later on the phone, Naim disputed this.
Not a chance. There was no chance. They said it's a normal stomach bug.
If it was anyone else, they would have probably kept quiet and they would have taken the pills and gone home. If they died, no one would have known about it, and it would have been just because of a stomach bug. But we took it a little further, and we found out what was the cause. And if we did not do that, it would have been something else. So we need to get the files back from December up till the current date so they can do a full investigation on all these doctors.
They fall down.
Without their daughter's file, Naim thinks they stand little chance of a successful negligence case.
If I wanted to make a medical negligence case against the hospital, I think it'll be extremely difficult to prove my case. Without the proper file, without my daughter's file being intact from December till now, if the file is readily available, I'll be able to sue the hospital probably for millions.
It prejudices the client because, if we do not have the medical records, their versions can often be discredited. Normally if a matter proceeds to trial, our opponent can discredit our client's version of what really occurred.
It's the doctor's word against the ESOPs, but many complain of poor healthcare at Potch Hospital.
All the people complain about the casualty department. Every single one, because you go there. I've been there tons of times. We've sat there 9, 10, 11 hours at a time. And we've heard of people sitting there for 16, 17 hours.
Patients, they are so impatient, they will come and immediately a person will actually demand the file. But there's a process that have to be undertaken. When you come to the facility, when you are an unbooked patient, your file must be retrieved, your file must be put on the system. It should be given unto you. So it's going to take time. So we request that they should respect our processes.
The healthcare system is just in perpetual crisis management at the moment. So we have great plans and we have great policies, but we're not able to implement any of those policies because the system's under siege.
Potch Hospital has assured us that they're soon going to embrace technology so that patient records are computerized.
The patient electronic system will really work well, as I indicated to you, that the challenge is the process flow of the file. So when we do have the digital electronic system, it will work well for us. But It's proposed that the department, we don't know when will it be initiated. We will really appreciate it. I'm sure not only me, most of the hospital CEOs will really appreciate the digital electronic record system.
How are you going to take those thousands and thousands of files and digitize them, put them into an electronic system? You're going to have to do it somehow. If you want to stop those medical negligence cases, then the way is not to stop people going to lawyers. The way is to stop them at source. And stopping them at source means that you provide a decent healthcare service in the first place where mistakes don't happen.
That's all from us this week. Please do give us your feedback. Our Twitter handle is @checkpoint_ENCA and our email address checkpoint@enca.com. Thanks for watching. I'm Ngepile Mabuse.